an interview with Mona Khoueiry of the Maronite Ecclesiastical Tribunal. That is our topic for today on Manousso Musing with seasoned mediator trainer, Dr. Barbara Manousso. Welcome to the Lawyers and Mediators International Show and Podcast by InstantMediations.com, where we discuss law and conflict resolution topics to educate both professionals and everyday people. Catch regular episodes on YouTube, the Instant Mediations app, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Just remember, nothing in these episodes constitutes legal advice, so be sure to talk to a lawyer, as cases are fact-dependent. Hey everyone, this is Mac Pierre-Louis, attorney, mediator, and arbitrator, working throughout Florida and Texas.
And Natalia Ołowska-Czajka, advocate, mediator, and arbitrator from Warsaw, Poland.
And I'm Dr. Barbara Sunderland Manousso in Rhode Island and in Texas, and training students worldwide. And today I am just absolutely delighted. Mona Khoueiry. And Mona had come to Houston, I think almost 10 years ago at this point, and she took all our training, which was a great honor for us. And we are just delighted that Mona has taken the training and used it in such a capable way. So we're delighted today, Mona, to welcome you as our Titan of mediation. And so you can talk about the international arena, and also that you are religious-based. You work with the Maronite Ecclesiastical Tribunal, and you're a social worker and a psychologist, and of course, a mediator. And you have brought all of this, and you're broadcasting today live from Beirut, Lebanon. So welcome to Manousso Musing, Mona.
Hello, Dr. Barbara. Thank you so much for inviting me. Sure, I am a member of the Texas Association of Mediators 10 years ago. And I want to talk a little bit about our Center of Mediation and Hearing in the heart of the Ecclesiastical Maronite Tribunal. We have created the center 10 years ago, and we found the useful and the utility to help couples who are living struggling situations while dealing with separation or divorce. In our religion, we don't have the term divorce. We have annulment. We have a little bit separation. And it is important to be a part of the family who are living a struggling situation in the Center of Mediation. I want to talk a little bit of the process and why we have
Mona,
created the center.
Mona, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Mona. No, I'm just interjecting only because you're about 8 hours ahead of us and across the ocean. We want to make sure that we don't have any breaking in the connection. But I'd like for you to talk a little bit more about the Maronite Ecclesiastical Tribunal, and Natalia and Dr. Manousso will ask a few questions, but I just wanted to bring our viewers up to speed that that's where you're based, and that might account for a little bit of the glitch that we're having this morning. But go ahead, Barbara, Dr. Manousso.
Mona, I'm delighted because not a lot of people are familiar sometimes with the Maronite religion. And could you tell us a little bit about the principles of the religion and how does it frame in the Christian church? You have an icon behind you, so you're a Christian organization. So what are some of the tenets about your church? And you just expressed some ideas that your church does not see divorce divorce is not recognized. So you would have an annulment or you would have a separation. So could you expand on that a little bit so people become familiar? It's close to your heart, but other people might not be familiar with the religion in general.
Yeah. As you know, the Maronite Ecclesiastical Tribunal, it is related to the Maronite Patriarchal of Antioch and all the East. And it is, we have the annulment and we have the desertion. We are working inside the tribunal, and we are taking into consideration the church and the beliefs of the church and the Christianity. So, do you want me to talk about our religion or of the Maronite, or what we are doing, like center of mediation inside the tribunal?
Yes, that would be nice. And what this means.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what does what does your separation look like, and what does annulment look like? So you can acquaint people. We get a lot of students we get a lot of clients that come to Houston that are Maronite, or people that are outside of our framework. And as a mediator, of course, we want to be respectful, but we have to have an understanding of what the framework is. So if you can give us a framework, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, we don't have a civil marriage. As you know, we have a marriage is based inside the church, and as our community, we don't have the divorce, the term divorce. We have annulment and we have desertion. It is like annulment when the two parties can get the divorce, the term divorce, they can be remarried again. And the desertion, it's like a separation, but the wife still on the name of her spouse. That's what I want to say. And everything like child support, child support, and child custody, visitation. Or our judges and our lawyers, the lawyers related to the church, take into consideration and all this procedures to present to the tribunal, to the court. So when the judge see that the Center of Mediation, who was created 10 years ago, can take this charge like child custody, child visitation, child support, they transfer the case or the file to the Center of Mediation. And inside the Center of Mediation, we are 3 mediators. Each one of us has a background. My background in human sciences, and the 2 others and the laws, like lawyers. They are lawyers. And I wanna clarify a point which is very important to make sometimes the co-mediation, because sometimes we need a background of lawyers, and sometimes, and in the same case, we need the background of the psychologist to understand the situation. But at the same time, we are not acting, but we are playing the role of mediator, like neutrality, not taking side, giving each parties the time to take her time to explain the situation. We are following the instructions of mediations, but the background of each one of us can help the parties who are in conflict. This is the point that I want to clarify. Sometimes we make the co-mediation. And inside the center of mediation, we are not working simply or only the mediation. We are making agreement about child custody, child support, the visitation, the time, and when we are working sometimes the reconciliation, when we see the two parties can make a bridge of communication again to rebuild their families, we are working the reconciliation, which is very important in the center of mediation. We listen carefully, we listen to these parties, and we are giving time, a full time, to listen to them, to see what is the urgent problem, and to get a solution. And we are practicing sometimes the caucus. We are giving each part the amount of time necessary to explain his point of view. And of course, we have conflict. We have sometimes a high conflict. We are facing a high conflict with parties, but we are getting sometimes and often a good result. And we are working for the best interest of the child. And inside the center, we've created a flyer about like recommendations to families how to treat with their kids during the separation, during the time of their divorce, and how to treat, because the kids, they have not to be a victim, or they are not a messenger between dad or mom. So it is like a recommendation to parents. We listen to them. People are strive sometimes to have someone who listen to them. Maybe I have clarified a little bit the point and the object and the goal of our mission in this center. We have two parts. We have reconciliation and we have mediation. Mediation, we can make an agreement between the two parties, but this agreement, it is from their will, not we force them to make the agreement. First of all, of our meeting with each part of them, we explain the mediation, why it is important to do mediation. It is faster than to go to the court, and people are convinced with our idea, and more since 10 years till now, we have a good result. Thanks, God.
Oh, very nice.
Mona.
Go ahead, Natalia.
Yeah, Mona, you are there also regulating child support and child custody. And is there a place for the child to express their wishes during this entire procedure? So is there something like children's voice being taken into account in this entire proceedings?
Yeah. Do you mean sometimes kids needs a psychological assessment or orientation? Do you mean that?
No, not only that. Is it like the mediators can speak to the child, or would the court, if there is the hearing, would the court speak to a child?
It is a point. It is a very important point. I talk to the child because I have the background of social worker and psychologist more. I talk to the child when there is a problem about visitation, when there is a problem about the child refuse to go with the other party. We have this problem here, and it is the major problem. The child, whatever his age, refuse to go with the other party. Sometimes there is a rumor, there is something who is telling about the other party. He is listening to bad mouthing, bad things about his mom or dad. We work just one session or two sessions. If we find like to uh, maybe this child needs more sessions or therapy, we have a center and we have a psychologist who treats with children, a child psychologist. We can refer this child to the psychologist to work a emotional side, to work the why to work the why he refused to not going with the other party. And sometimes the psychologists work with the parents even, and the center of mediation follow up the process of this psychological side or assessment. Is it?
That's a good answer,
Did
Mona.
I
Thank
answer?
you. Thank you. And Mac, you had a question I could see.
Oh, actually, I mean, I have lots of questions. I'm very fascinated by, the Maronite, belief system to begin with. I guess because I'm not too familiar, I generally didn't know how it was that different from Catholicism, because I'm not sure if the Catholic Church has something similar where with mediation or conflict resolution as an alternative to the court systems in the secular realm. But just a very broad, if you could just kind of touch on that, because this seems very unique to many mainline Christian denominations that many Christians, even in the Western world, especially, don't even know about. So is this common? And then how is it different too much from the like basic Catholics?
Or Greek Orthodox, because I think you might be a little closer to Greek Orthodox, are you not?
Excuse me, can I clarify a little bit the question? Do you mean like the Maronite Church has the same rules as the Catholic Church?
Oh no, I don't. I don't know too much. I don't know enough to even ask my
Yes.
question clearly.
How does it differ? How does it differ between Catholicism, Greek Orthodoxy, or Orthodoxy in general, and on the spectrum of Christianity? Tell us more about the Maronite Ecclesiastical Church.
I'm not a lawyer, but I can explain a little bit. I know a little bit about the Catholic Church. That the Catholic Church, we have the same rules, like the same law, because the lawyers who are taking cases in the Maronite Church are taking cases in the Catholic Church, but they can't take onto charge cases on the Orthodox Church. But the lawyers, meaning lawyers in general, not lawyers related to the church, can take Orthodox and can take Catholic cases and Maronite cases. That is the difference. I'm not a lawyer to explain, to enter inside the rules, but I know this in general about the law from the lawyers.
Sure.
And the lawyers in the Maronite Church can take cases in the Catholic Church, but the lawyers, meaning lawyers in general, who can take commercial, family, they can take into cases in the Orthodox Church. That's what I know.
What you're saying, I think, is that you have particular lawyers that work within the Maronite Church. Is that correct? You have lawyers that just basically work in the Maronite Church. Or can any lawyer just represent somebody in the Maronite Church? Or do you have to have specific lawyers that work within the Maronite Church?
Yeah, yeah. We have condition when the lawyers take onto charge a case. He should be first of all following a trainer for 1 year, I guess.
I'm talking about
training.
church in general, not the mediation skills, but does the
No,
Maronite
yes,
Church
lawyers, yeah.
only work in the Maronite Church?
Yes, they have to meet a training.
Maronite by religion that work within the Maronite Church?
Yeah, the lawyers make a training, and once they have an attestation, a certificate, they can practice inside the Maronite Church and the Catholic Church.
Oh, good.
Because we have the same law. Yeah, we have the same rules. But they have to practice and they should have a certificate.
Good. Well, excellent. Well, this has been very informative, Mona. It's not easy. The world is so small now, and people have to be familiar or should be familiar with people's religious ideology, the frameworks of their religions, how this will impact civil marriages if people are in the States. And people are all over the world, if just in the States or they're in Poland or wherever they are. So thank you for what you're doing. I can tell that you're doing it from your heart, and that you are using all the skills that you've had academically to help human condition, and also as a mediator. Very proud of you. Thank you for your work. And thank your church for offering a safe place for Maronites to have an opportunity to restart their life if they need to. Mona, thank you for being on Manousso Musing. You're certainly an international titan of mediation. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you for this invitation. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mona, before we leave, I did want to let people know how to get in contact with you. So, of course, if you're watching this, you can see on the screen the email monakhoueiry@yahoo.com. And I know that you are also on LinkedIn, and people can just connect with you just by going over to LinkedIn and checking out Mona Khoueiry, and it'll come up. You can connect with her there. But are those the best two ways? I know that yesformediation.com is coming soon. And so when that comes up, people will be able to check it out on your LinkedIn profile page. Okay.
Thank you again, Mona. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys. Until next time, signing off.